afternoon and welcome to this week's episode of ThinkTank Thursday. As normal, I am Candi Kelley and I am your host for this week. On Thursdays, Trainer likes to take a little bit of time away from the doing, and I hear a lot of you have been super busy so far this year, but we've got to spend some time thinking in our business, thinking about future enhancements we want to make and all those things. So we do that on Thursdays at Trainertainment. Before we jump in, I need to thank my 2023 ThinkTank sponsors. We have Delta Strike, Betson, Roller Software, Redemption Plus, and Semnox, which is where our guest comes from this week. And so I'm excited to have him on. So take a few minutes, tell us about Semnox and your role within Semnox.
Well, thank you. And it's great to be back again, Candi. I'll tell you, I have to thank the Trainertainment group because you guys are amazing to work with, and we love having you guys as partners with us too. I joined Semnox about 4 years ago now. I'm a 40-year vet in the industry, spent a lot of time also with the debit card sector of the business. Have a lot of experience throughout that time with manufacturers, distributors, and everything else. But I've really focused on this sector of the market because I really thoroughly enjoy working with all the customers that I've known for ages, but now delivering something that not only do they need, but I know that Semnox offers the best solution.
Awesome. Now, I've noticed this terminology that Semnox has been using and some of the things that they put out. So Semnox says that they are a venue management company, especially with some of the releases that have came out recently. What exactly does that mean, Brian?
Well, yeah, it's something that basically Semnox wants to encompass everything for our customers so that they don't have to go outside of using one vendor to be able to get a number of things managed in their location. Now, most of the companies out there just manage a game room and a game room only. And a lot of them also will offer a few things that enable a customer to not have to choose one or two additional vendors. But what Semnox likes to do is we encompass everything within house to where we develop it. The problem that you run into a lot of times with integration is if the integration isn't good, you have a disconnect. You know, it doesn't fit perfectly. And then if things aren't working quite properly, there's a lot of finger pointing that goes on between the parties.
I often have found in my past with integrations, it's either one person's willing to do, one side of the integration is willing to make whatever changes they need to, but the other side is like, we're not changing anything. You've got to come to what we are at. And so it's finding them and getting them on the same page has always been difficult when I was in operations before.
No, it's very, very true. And Semnox is a very innovative group. I watched them for a number of years before I was able to convince them to hire me away from the competition. And I'm so glad that they did because they're everything that I had hoped they would be and then some. And a lot of times people will get our system and not fully utilize it. It's almost like getting a Ferrari and driving your kid to school in a 25-mile-per-hour zone. You know, it's impressive. It's great. It does the job, sort of, but fully utilizing it is having a multi-seater, you know, especially if you have your kid, you know, 2 kids or 3 kids, you got to make a number of trips there. But if you drive it on the open road and you hit that 180, and if you hug the curves up in the mountains, then you're fully utilizing all the capabilities of a Ferrari rather than just driving your kids to school.
Yeah. So on the part what I would like to ask you about is, what are some of the lesser known modules or features that Semnox is able to do that maybe not everyone realizes because they just think of you as a game card system?
Yeah, it's funny the number of people that get us for the arcade and then start realizing, oh, you do this, you do that. I didn't know that. Well, we always give it to them in the presentation, but when you're offering so much stuff, a lot of times it's stuff for people to remember or realize the need until later on when they start doing the the additions and realize that A plus B plus C plus D equals a lot more than RE. And so some of the things that people realize that they need that they weren't doing before, like waivers, a lot of times they have to go outside to be able to find that, not just the party booking or the online sales of cards, but we do the online waivers. We also have a full food and beverage to where we're able to handle everything from the smallest of stuff, like selling cans of Coca-Cola and bags of potato chip, to snack bar type things where everything is cooked all the same, to full serve restaurant where we're able to handle everything, including the modifiers and things like that.
That's what I was about to ask about, because like I said, I came from operations before I came to entertainment, and that was one of the things that was always a holdup in like food, is like, yeah, we could ring it up. But before family entertainment, I was restaurants. And so in restaurants, let's say I ring up a hamburger, and then if I hit it like modifiers, it'll be like, no lettuce, no tomato. I'm one who doesn't like cold vegetables on my hot food. Like I love it in a salad, don't put it on my hot food kind of thing, And so we could easily put no tomato, no lettuce on a burger or whatever and send it back. Well, when I went into family entertainment, so many of the systems, like you could ring up the burger, but then you'd have to run back to the kitchen and be like, hey, don't put any garden on that one.
Well, most food and beverage, and including companies that I was with, they don't have the modifiers in there. They have strictly snack bar type thing where it's a hot dog cooked exactly the same way and served exactly the same way. And you will put on your own modifiers over at the counter over there with the ketchup and all that. Instead, what's really nice about ours, you can do a variety of ways things are cooked, sauces that are added, extras that you want to add on, like, for example, jalapenos, 50 cents more, or whatever else like that. Whatever you want to put in there, we're able to handle all the modifiers. Now, in all honesty, we don't currently have one that compares.
Is utilizing it?
No, we do have places that are utilizing it, but we get compared a lot of times to the big boys like the Micros and the Aloha and others. And are we as pretty as them? Are we as good as them? I'd say no, but currently no, because we are revamping our whole food and beverage to not just be functional, but to look nicer and compare very favorably against them. But that's still something down the road. But what
is
I
it
like
something that
about
Semnox is going to focus on because of the trend of food and beverage being such a big part now of future family entertainment centers? You don't see a family entertainment center any longer be built without some real thought being put into what the food and beverage offerings are. We're used to, it was like a concession stand was fine. Give yourself some pizza, some hot dog, and some nachos. You'll be good. And that's not the case going forward and into the future.
No, more and more FECs are finding out that they have to do more to draw people in. And once they do, then they go and play all the stuff, but they may come there just for the food or the burger or whatever it happens to be. What I love about Semnox is we, on our food and beverage, our focus is actually on the hospitality industry, because that's growing so much. And we'll have a separate food division eventually. But the nice thing is that that'll also benefit all of our customers on the FEC side that are doing stuff like a full serve restaurant. So everything that Semnox does is good not only for the area that they're going after, but it benefits other sectors of the industry and also benefits all of our customers.
Awesome. I may be putting you on the spot here. Something that I hear that clients would like is more options for attractions inventory management. So bowling does this really well. The bowling systems, they were built that way. Yeah, I have like 16 lanes. I know when these lanes are available and when they're not. But as more and more attractions have gone, like there are more clients that need timed go-kart racing. So instead of just waiting in line now, you're told to come at 1:30 for your race. Timed laser tag games and knowing what the inventory is. Does Semnox have something that can address some of those, or have they thought about building something that's a bit more user-friendly than what's out there?
Yeah, in fact, what's nice is some of our partnerships throughout the industry, like amusement products. We're working with them. They have an incredible go-kart system, and they even took the Mario Karts idea and built it into their product. Well, they want to reward drivers for winning a race with adding tickets onto the card and run tournaments and other things like that that'll give away the prizes. That's something that we've been talking about with them for quite a while, and it's a bit of development back and forth because it's not something just one of us can do. We've got to be able to do it together to where it's properly integrated and working properly. But shortly, you'll be able to use your card to be able to not only ride the go-kart, but your score will be recorded and it'll be posted if it's a high one. All these things are stuff that wouldn't be possible if it was just us thinking about it. Instead, we're working with somebody that is going to benefit from this as well and has this product and great ideas that they're bringing to the table. And we're sharing a lot of the knowledge.
One of the things I love about this industry is that we really are a community who wants to push the entire industry forward. And there is competition, but we don't always look at it that way. We look at it more as how can we be collaborative?
Exactly. And even in talking about competition, we have people that others would look at and say you're competition with them. And instead, we want to work together with them also because they're well known in the industry, or they have a lot of customers that don't have card systems or whatever. In the bowling and the karting side and such, we really need to be able to focus on doing the right stuff and putting our energies towards the right things that are going to benefit the largest number rather than reinventing the wheel. So like with Cubica, we're not going to build a new bowling scoring thing and stuff like that that's going to usurp them. We want to partner with them. And we're working with others like Brunswick to get that done as well. So on the karting side, we do have a cooperative effort and partnership with Club Speed, and we are working with others, but in some areas, Semnox will develop their own stuff and some will partner with others.
Very interesting.
Another one like that is Center Edge.
Yeah.
Center Edge does a lot of the things that we do, but I'm personally friends with them. And I love the team over there. They've got excellent product. And especially if a customer already has them in place, buy our system then and use our system with them, since we are integrated with them, rather than learning a whole new thing. That's fine. If the customer wants that, that's good for us. If they want to use ours, that's fine with me too. All I really want them to do is use Semnox, whether they're using it with Center Edge or they're using Semnox all along.
So what I hear you say is just because a location may already have some type of system and is interested in even one module of Semnox, let's say they're just interested in the arcade card initially, that's the initial thing, to not say, oh, I already have Center Edge, or already have fill in the blank here, even though I really like this, that it still warrants a conversation because Semnox works with so many other vendors and suppliers in the space.
Exactly. And nobody at Semnox works on commission. So we're not going to sell the customers something they don't need or want. We're not trying to get rid of inventory or anything. I make the same amount of money whether I sell them a $100,000 system or a $30,000 system. And as my role as senior sales partner for the company, I have a lot of input into it. And what I love about Semnox is they listen. And while they may want something, they also understand that this industry is like a family and we have to fit in as the family. You know, you may disagree with your uncle or you may do something a little bit better than they do, but they're still family and you treat them like that. And that's the way this whole industry is. Everybody has to benefit. Strong companies help make Semnox stronger. You know, it keeps us on our toes, and it disappoints us when, you know, if we were winning everything, a Ferrari isn't for everybody. Some people only need a little smart car, you know, and it works fine for them. That's fine. But we want to be there for them. We want to expose them to the fact that we do this, because maybe down the road, they'll all of a sudden need our services for those things and realize, like a lot of my customers that have come on just wanting a card system.
So you just said the word win, which light bulb moment. Didn't you guys win something last year at IAPA?
Yeah, you know, it's been really, really nice being with Semnox, because we won a brass ring award for our Luminos reader. And the Luminos actually has an operating system inside of it, a Linux-based system that not only allows it to do a whole lot more, but increases the capabilities that an operator is able to do at their location with it. And what I love is they don't have to buy all Luminos. They can mix and match all of them. We don't have to have a different wireless access point. We don't have to have different other hardware to work with it. They can mix and match all of the products to be able to work for it. So for example, like if you have something where somebody is going to want to play 10 games in a row, the Luminos would be something that you would use for that. It's more expensive, but that is a way of getting a lot more money out of the guest than just the tap and play one game and tap and play another game and tap another. I may walk away. But if I put on there that I want to play 10 games in a row, you just got 10 games out of me. And I love that about our thing, and that we think from an operator standpoint, because we want the operator to be happy, and we are not going to nickel and dime them or 10 and 20 them like a lot of other companies will do.
Awesome.
But yeah, I've never been with a company that won a brass ring award, and we actually won 2 brass ring awards. Last year we won for the Luminos. The year before that we won for the redemption kiosk. So awesome. I'm really, really happy to be with a group that is so innovative. In fact, talk about innovation. Back in 2008, we were the ones that introduced tap and play technology, or RFID, to the industry.
That's awesome. I did not realize that.
Yeah, I was with another company and I was even telling people, oh, that's just a buzzword in the industry. It'll be gone in no time. Now everybody's doing it, but they're playing catch up with Semnox, because Semnox has had 15 years. This is our 15-year anniversary, and 15 years of not only doing it, but perfecting it to where we even think differently than the competition. Like on the wristbands, instead of having a rounded, curved top to a wristband, we have a flat one. Why? Because more contact space, easier for the reader to be able to read a wristband than a rounded one. And we want the guest to have the best possible experience. And everything that Semnox does is based upon providing the best guest experience.
I'll tell you, as a mom, one of the things I like about tap and play versus the swipe and play is that I have a little one. So I have a 5-year-old and an 11-year-old. The 11-year-old can take care of herself. That's fine. But the 5-year-old, like, she wants to have that card. But I am terrified that she is going to lose that card. And so with tap and play technology, like, I can know that we're going to an arcade and grab a lanyard and connect it to there. And then, like, she just can hit it and go, and she doesn't have to, like, take it out of a pocket or, like, keep it in her hand. Because what she's going to do if she has to hold it in her hand is, like, lay it down somewhere, and then she's going to go to the next game, and then she's going to have a fit that she doesn't have her card anymore. And that's what I'm terrified of. But, like, if I can put it on, like, a lanyard or something where she just has to hit the screen and can play, then we're good. And she has that independence she wants to do it on her own without mommy following her everywhere to make sure she doesn't lose the card that I just paid $30 for.
Exactly. That's a really good point. And on top of that too, we've even gone so far as making it to where you can tap anywhere on the screen instead of on a particular spot. You know, it's like hitting the bullseye. If you have to hit the bullseye, well, a 5-year-old isn't going to be able to do that very easily. And a lot of times they'll be tapping all around and miss the spot that they're supposed to go to. In our particular case, it's anywhere on the screen. So the nice thing is our readers will even read a tap and play card better than the competition.
Awesome. I'm going to circle back to the waiver system. You have
Sure.
a waiver system module, which is, waivers are used for so many things now that we do, between the rock climbing and trampolines and all different things. Is this only axe throwing? Yeah. Is this only inside, or is it online where, as a guest, they can fill it out ahead of time? You could send them a link. Like, how does that work with your module at Semnox?
Well, it works for whatever the operator's need is. If the operator only wants to do it in store, they can do it in store with waiver tablets and have people doing it there, or from the POS. If they want to have it also online, we have that capability to where they can do it online and then come in and verify that a waiver was actually signed online by Brian Duke. And I'm coming on into your place and I hand you my printed receipt, you scan it, and you know right away, Brian did the waiver or Brian didn't do the waiver.
Awesome. All right, so online waiver systems, everyone should know by now. Just in case they don't know, let's hit the basics. Obviously, you do an arcade game card system. We've talked a little bit about that. Also on party booking, online and in location, right? Yep. And multiple rooms, all of that, different schedules, packages, you can handle all that.
Correct.
We talked about your online waiver system. That is a little bit of a lesser known module that people use, but is available. And then the thing that shocked me the most is the full-fledged food and beverage, and how much Semnox is planning to invest in that area going forward, considering the future of family entertainment.
That is correct.
Is there anything I missed that you want to highlight there?
Well, just maybe some of the products, and this is another thing that I've really enjoyed during the pandemic, the P word. During that time, Semnox didn't lay off a single person. And I'm really proud and happy for that, because it kept not only the cohesiveness together for the team, but for our clients as well. In fact, during that time, we added more people to it, and we also developed more product in anticipation for the post-pandemic world, where it's more difficult to hire people, find them, keep them, pay them enough, all that
Training
other bit
needs to be easy.
Exactly. And so what we did was we developed the largest array of kiosks. And it's not to replace employees, it's to help the poor employee that's stuck behind the counter when all of a sudden a rush of people come and they're over swamped. Even the redemption kiosk, the thing that won the award for us, is the fact that it helps out the people behind the counter. And it can even speed up the process, because while I'm helping you, I can see a ticket come up and know that this person is going to come up for the blue bouncy ball and the red fuzzy bear. And I can get those prizes ready for them, have them down here, and a person comes up with the ticket, even while I'm helping you and you're still trying to decide. And I can take their ticket, compare it, make certain it's right, hand them the gift. Tickets are already taken off, and off they go, and they're happy and gone.
I know. I'm so glad you brought that up, because, one of the things I really specialize in at Trainer Entertainment is guest service. That's kind of my silo and wheelhouse. I've written some workshops and some speeches and all of that about that. But one of the things that we're in a transition with guest service, because there was this older vision of guest service where it had to be person to person, it had to be that interaction and all of that stuff. But the true definition of guest service is to meet a guest where they are and where they need to be. And so by allowing, yes, I have someone at the front counter that can give a person-to-person interaction, if someone prefers that, like my dad would prefer that, or someone like me who I'm just as happy and maybe happier to go to a kiosk and do it on my own. And I have that skill set to do that. I always think about grocery stores. More and more grocery stores are putting self-checkouts. And you'll hear inevitably in every town, someone's going to complain about self-checkouts. I love a self-checkout. Like, don't make me go through the line with let me do it myself. I love it. Sam's Club, I've got the scanner thing on my phone so I can do it as I'm walking around the store. My dad will not use a self-checkout to save his life. Like, he refuses. And so, but we're both customers in the buying demographic right now. We're both consumers. And so customer service in today's world means we have to meet each one of those customers where they are and with what they need.
Exactly. And, the places that have the self-service also have the manned POSs to people to walk up to. It should never be a all or one type of thing. And that's what we try to do also, is we have to be able to cover the entire guest range, right? You got to go after the grandma and grandpa that are coming in, taking the grandkids there, but are scared of technology and can't even remember the passwords for their email. And they're going to need the person-to-person account. But as you know, kiosks or self-serve a lot of times is much quicker. All I want to do is recharge my card and put $20 on it. So I go to a kiosk. If they come to me, I'm the chatty Cathy. I want to make certain they have the greatest experience in the world, and I'm going to talk their ear off. In the meantime, my line is getting longer, and people are waiting there going, "Will you shut up already?" And just, all I want to do is put $20 on my card. Well, they can go to a kiosk. They can do it there. They can do it at home online. They can do it on their phone through the phone app. We've got the smartphone app that is launching. And that's another thing that's going to evolve into something different, because not only will I be able to manage my account on my phone, but I'll be able to use my phone in lieu of my card. So if I have my phone in my hand, I don't have to also pull out my card. I can just tap and play with my phone. Well, I shouldn't say tap and play. And this is another interesting thing. We originally were going to make it tap and play. And we were putting Bluetooth technology in our new readers. Well, all of our old readers that are out there would now become obsolete, right?
Yeah.
Semnox didn't want to do that to the operators that have been with us for years and years. We wanted those readers to also work. So we're coming out with a QR code. Every phone is able to read a QR code.
Yes, they are.
Every phone does not have NFC frequency, and most of the ones that have come up with tap and play have done NFC frequency. Well, my phone has it because I've got a more expensive Samsung model, but my son, who's in his 20s, has a cheaper model and it doesn't have NFC. So he would be out of luck if he was trying to use the app for playing with NFC, but with QR code. And that's a pretty involved thing to make all the old stuff as well as the new stuff work properly. And that's why we haven't launched it yet, but we did launch the smartphone app to manage my account. But soon it'll be able to read a QR code and I'll be able to play the games as well.
Long term, that's a cost savings for operators too, because there is cost involved with the cards. And I know that some people pass that cost along to others, to each their own, but they will save from having to buy those cards over and over again, because we don't keep them. I'll tell you, I tell my kids to spend every dime of their tickets. I do not want to come back. We are not that family that saves for the PlayStation 5. Well, that's not us. So coming up, it is we're recording this in February, and in March, if you are in this industry, we know that Amusement Expo takes place at the end of March every year. And it'll kick off on March 27th. So I know Semnox is going to be there. Is there anything we should really be looking for and keeping our eyes open in the Semnox booth?
Well, most definitely. We've been, like I said, we've got the Luminos that will be showing to a lot of the people that weren't at IAPA. And that has just been recently starting to ship here in the US. We've shipped it overseas previously and tested it and made certain that it worked well before we launched it even in Europe and Asia. And now it's in the US, launched to our customers here. But we also have a wall mounted unit that we'll be promoting that'll be coming on out. It's an all metal one. It's designed to be able to go in those places that have not necessarily the same footprint, to be able to put a big kiosk in. If it's counter or wall mounted, it'll be able to fit into a lot of places that you normally wouldn't have the space to be able to put a kiosk. Ours are the slimmest in the industry, but even they take up a larger footprint than what the wall mounted unit will do.
Awesome. So we'll keep our eyes open for that. You know that we like to close Think Tank with a signature question. So what are you currently doing these days to grow yourself, Brian Duke? And does everyone say your whole name when they talk to you? Because I can't stop myself. Does everyone say your whole name when they talk to you? I cannot ever stop myself from saying Brian Duke. Like, I can't just say Brian. I always have to say it all.
Well, plus on top of that, there's probably 500,000 Brians that I work with. I used to call them Brian number 1 and refer to myself as Brian number 2. But now it's gotten to where I'm now B 2087 type of thing versus B1, and there's like 100,000 B1s. But in my growing experiences, it's listening more and more to what prospects, not just clients, want. And passing it on to the team. What I love about the management team at Semnox is they listen. And while we may not do something immediately, it's like planting a seed. You don't see it immediately bear fruit, but you do see it grow, and you do get that fruit, and you do see the progress. And I love that with the management team, because they've done literally, since I came on board, probably 99% of the things that I've asked them to do. And it's all worked out well for not only Semnox, but for our customers. And it's all because they bring it to us. Our partnerships aren't just helping one another to get business. It's helping one another to develop our businesses together, like in the amusement products situation. They brought an idea to us that we hadn't thought of, but they're manufacturing a product. And instead of me just working together with them on providing a card system for their products going out there, we're trying to work on software and other stuff like that that'll help them. So I love listening to the customers. I love listening to our partners. And I love listening to feedback that even people like you here through entertainment
I know I was
seminars
recently on
and
site with a
training.
client that's using Semnox, and I definitely called Luke a couple of times and was like, "Can you just tell me how to do this so I can like help them?" And he was like, "Sure." Like, so I definitely am that person.
And offering us suggestions to help us improve is always a great thing. And so I thank you very much for all of that too.
I am a firm believer in a rising tide raises all ships. Like the better we all do together, the more the more our clients see that we are a collaborative unit to allow them to be as successful as they can be, the more trust that they have in us. And so that's good for all of us.
And the industry.
So I would be amiss if I let you go without telling you, you recently had an anniversary. So happy anniversary to you. How sweet is it that your anniversary is Valentine's Day?
Well, I think my wife decided on that date so I would never forget it. And it's worked. And you know, it's really funny. A lot of people don't know. We met on a blind date.
Oh, really?
November 29th. And then we got engaged Christmas Eve. So that was also a very memorable thing. And then got married the following Valentine's Day. So we went through the Evelyn Wood speed relationship course to where a lot of people were going, oh, she must be pregnant, or betting that it wasn't going to last a year and that type of thing. And we hit our 33rd anniversary on Valentine's Day this year.
That's amazing. You know, there's maybe something to be said for quick relationships. My parents went on their first date and got married within 6 months. And they stayed
Sometimes
together
you
up until
just
my mom
know.
passed away. So, yep. So maybe there's something there. Well, thank you for spending your time with us today. Where can people find you if they want to learn more about Semnox, connect with you, all those things?
Well, certainly anybody can call me. I take my cell phone with me wherever I go. In fact, we're doing a delayed anniversary trip to Hawaii, and yeah, my wife
so
hates
jealous.
it, but I will be answering my phone when I'm over there. It's 510-376-9607. And my email, if you want to reach out that way for any information, is Brian with an I, BRIAN .Duke at semnox.com.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to come on ThinkTank again. I can't wait to have you on again when Semnox releases the next big thing.
Thank you so much. Love you guys at Trainertainment. Excellent, fantastic group.
Thanks. Bye, everyone. Again, thank you to Brian Duke of Semnox for hanging out with us and being a guest on ThinkTank Thursday. Thank you to my 2023 ThinkTank sponsors, which is inclusive of Semnox, but also want to give shout outs to Redemption Plus, Roller Software, Betson, Delta Strike. Really hoping to get a representative from each one of them on ThinkTank really soon for you guys to meet and learn more about each of them as well. Also, if any of you want to be a guest on ThinkTank Thursday, please do not hesitate to email me, candy@trainertainment.net. I'm really wanting to interview more people who are working in the operations at the facilities and get that perspective and share that with the world as well. And then, as mentioned in this interview with Brian, Amusement Expo is right around the corner, guys. The week of March 27th, Amusement Expo happens in Las Vegas. Trainertainment will be there. You'll see our team of Beth Stanley, of course, who will be speaking on 2 different panels while there. So check that out. And participating in the VR Summit. You'll have Jerome Miles there, who is our new sales director. So if you haven't met him, you'll want to go over there. And then, of course, everyone's favorite Sonia Terry will be there. So make sure you go and say hello to her as well. We are going to be in booth 244 at Amusement Expo. And so we are looking forward to that. So you can check out all the details at amusementexpo.com. And then thanks, and we will see you on the next episode. Have a great day.